noticed that there was an incredibly poor lighting system in the cathedral, which was both draining of money and electricity, but also just wasn't doing what it needed to do. Secondly, we saw the floor and the heating systems all incredibly aged, but also working at a very poor rate. And so all those things together seemed to us to be something that we could work on to provide not just a building that was fit for purpose, but a kind of whole atmosphere or culture that was more like an oasis in the city.
There was already a cathedral architect as a resident at the cathedral, and she appointed the design team, the engineers and the landscape architects, and I was brought in partly to help fundraise. So the project money came from the National Lottery Heritage Fund and other match funding. So we raised, it's a £6 million project almost. So once the funding was in place, we were able to appoint a contractor, and then the contractor came on board in November 2019, and we started the capital works in January 2020. Then lockdown struck March 2020, and we worked right through the pandemic. Inside the nave we had an inefficient heating system, just perimeter radiators, so we replaced the nave floor with a stone quarried floor from local quarries, so we didn't have to bring the stone from very far away. But underneath we put in underfloor heating, all the pipes were insulated. We created flat access throughout the building, and we installed new LED lighting, so the energy consumption's gone right down. The underfloor heating is connected to air source heat pumps, and they're all controlled by a building management system, which is a new piece of big kit in our basement. It takes the readings from the external environment, and then it exchanges the energy to keep a constant level in the building. And so we've got 4 boilers that back up the system at peak demand times. In winter, for example, we've got radiators that operate from the boilers still, and they would kick in if it was so cold, but we hope not to be in that position too often.
I would really like to investigate solar panels on the roof of the cathedral. I think because we're in a city centre that's got lots of other buildings around it, it may well be that we don't get the sun exposure. And of course in Newcastle we don't get that much sun anyway, it's a well-known fact. But nevertheless I think it'd be really interesting to investigate. It's not so scary now, lots of people have solar panels. I think we should at least look. We're definitely going to be expecting a reduction in our electricity bills. If nothing else, the LED lighting that we have now throughout the cathedral should produce a whopping reduction in those costs. We're really fortunate to have that. That, together with our air source heat pumps, our underfloor heating, we're going to see some reduction in bills before too long. The expectation was that we will hit some really serious targets to reduce our carbon footprint, certainly by 2030. My advice for people who are planning these projects in the future is to actually just go and talk to the users, the people on the ground who are responsible for caring and loving and working with your building. They're the ones who are going to be making this work for you. Just talk to them.